let us move on to the value reflection exercise, which in my eyes is the most important exercise of this self-discovery workshop. As I indicated before, we each have a value hierarchy which determines what we strive for more than other things. Here's an example. Well, that's what you value, you dedicate and allocate your attention, your energy, your time to. So that's important to figure out what we value and then allocate the time to it. For example, if you really value your partner, your romantic partner, and you're at a bar, you're talking to them, you're listening to them. Yet, at the same time, whilst the conversation, there are so many things happening around you, which you could be focusing on, but you're not, because you value it less. That which is happening around you, you value it less than your partner. For example, you're at the bar talking to your partner and the TV comes on in the background and starts flickering. And usually you jump to it and it catches your attention. But no, your partner is more important to you, so you listen to them. That's a practical example of a value hierarchy, how a value hierarchy plays out. I have a little bit of an excerpt for you which I would like to read. Values are like a personal code of conduct. When we abide by our values, we confirm the identity we have of ourselves. That brings us satisfaction and perhaps fulfillment, because we know we're doing the right thing. But when we are inconsistent, we are more likely to regress into bad habits and behavior which defies our values even more. It's the consequence of breaching your own code, like you would get dealt with a company after breaching theirs. Perhaps we are not all aware and conscious of our values, but we still somehow get upset if we defy them. So it's super important to know what they are, because why do you think values are important to know? They bring us clarity. In decision making, for example, let's say you know you value morality and ethical transactions. You might get offered a bribe in business of, let's say, $1 million. If you know you value morality, it'll be no problem for you to just reject the offer and say no, thank you, and then continue with your life. However, if you don't know you value morality, $1 million, it's quite enticing. You might engage in it and accept the bribe. Now, the problem is, you actually do value morality, you are simply not conscious of it. You didn't have clarity on your values. So you accept the offer, but it takes its toll on you. The consequences pay a price. They cost you. You realize later on, after you accepted the bribe, that you shouldn't have done it, and it harms your integrity, and it damages you. And as a leader, it's important to know what you value so you can take clear decisions and not suffer from the unclarity and the bad consequences of unclear decisions. Yes. So, when we reflect now on our values, it's important to dig deep, really deep, and figure out what you want. It's easy to come up with the classical values which society says you should have, like integrity, honesty, like all these things. They're good, right? But I want you to think of what you value as a person, because in the end, it's you who's going to be stuck in difficult situations and will need your values to guide you. And if they're not your values which you have sort of stored in your brain, you'll be confused, you won't truly believe in what you're doing, and you'll crumble. So you need to figure out what you want. So to figure out what our values are, I have a little bit of a good guideline. I want you to reflect on situations where you were proud of yourself, where you felt like you were in a peak moment. And I want you to ask yourself, why were you feeling proud, excited in that peak moment? Why was it? For example, you graduated, you finished high school. That was like a peak moment for you maybe. Now, you were proud of yourself, but why? Was it because you value education? Was it because you value hard work and reaping the benefits of your hard work? Try and figure that out to pinpoint exactly what you value. And just as much you can turn it the other way around. You can go in the opposite direction. Consider a time where you were angry, frustrated, or upset with yourself. Why were you feeling upset? What value were you defying? For example, classic, you cheated on your partner and you were very upset and miserable afterwards. Why was it? Is it because you actually value loyalty yourself and you had defied that value? Who knows? Now, I want you to think of three values. Three values that lie deepest to your heart, and write them down on your leadership shield. What's your personal code of conduct? What will guide you? What do you value? What do you strive for? That's so important to know because it will give you clarity in your decision making and determining your goals also, because your value is essentially a synonym for your goal because you want that. You value it. You value your partner. You want your partner. That's a simple example. So write them, reflect for like 10 minutes on what your values are, and then write the three values down on your leadership shield. Let's go.